Hey everybody, it is late at night and I am Norman. A good friend of mine lent me his vintage Palliot chronograph, this amazing looking piece, because there's something wrong with it. So if you wind it up and you start the chronograph, after a while it just kind of stops. And I mentioned this watch in a video that I recently did on great pieces that I found on eBay, because a vintage chronograph I found there described it as having the same problem, which was very interesting. Because my friend and I assumed that the chronograph hand was fouling on something, maybe the crystal or something like that. But I've been doing a bit of debugging, so a while ago I wound it up all the way, started the chronograph, and after about 20 minutes or so it stopped. However, at that time, if I gave the watch a little shake, it would start going again, and that happened a couple times. Earlier today, I wound it up and kicked it off again, just to do some more investigation into what might be going on. And this time it didn't take very long to stop, just a matter of a few minutes or so. I got some video of it and some photographs, so here's some of the pictures that I took of it. And you can see that there's a shadow that's well underneath that chronograph hand, so there's a lot of space beneath it. And when it stopped, I also got some video footage of it, trying to determine if it might be stuck on something. And it didn't look like it was. I tried placing a spring bar on top of the crystal to gauge how much space there was between that hand and the inside of the crystal, and it looks like there's quite a bit. The distance between the spring bar and the hand itself was a few millimeters. And also, you'll notice that it was stopping in different positions. And sometimes it was nowhere near the other hands of the watch, so I don't think it's fouling on the other hands. And because it stops at sort of random places, I don't think it's the crystal either. Especially since it makes full revolutions around a few times, because like I said, it took a few minutes for it to stop. So I'm guessing the problem actually has to do with the movement itself, sadly. Because that means that there isn't anything I personally can do to help him out with this. I'm guessing the watch would need a service by a reputable watchmaker. That might help it, but even then, even a well-serviced vintage chronograph like this, I'm not sure if it wouldn't stop if you let it run long enough. In spite of it still having power reserve, they may just kind of stop for all I know, I'm not sure. But one thing that I may be able to help him out with is you'll notice that when I reset the chronograph, or when I first started the chronograph, the running chronograph subdial, that hand is not aligned straight up. That should reset to 12 o'clock on that subdial, but it isn't. And if this was a quartz chronograph, that can actually be fixed. If I haven't already done a video on that, I definitely should. Because when it comes to quartz chronographs, there's a built-in method for realigning the running chronograph hand. But from what I've read online with mechanical ones, not so much. But I may be able to take this movement out of the case and carefully remove the hand on that subdial and then replace it on there straight up and down so that when it resets, it is truly right up at the 12 o'clock position of that subdial. I'll reach out to my friend and see if that is something he wouldn't mind me attempting, because this is actually a pretty brilliant watch with some amazing history behind it. And in the future, I will be doing a video discussing that. I know I mentioned that when I first did like an impressions video of this watch, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But I'll definitely have to do that. So I'll reach out to him if he wants me to fix that hand. I'll see if I can get some footage of me attempting to do that. And hopefully that video does not end sadly. I mean, it's just removing a hand and putting it on, right? What could go wrong? Well, if you're a newbie like me, all kinds of things. But I'm pretty sure I can fix that hand for him. We'll see. Thanks for watching.